You are listening to the Foamy Heads Podcast, where we discuss craft beer and anything else that accompanies a glass.
It is the Foamy Heads back on the mic. Mitch and Rich hanging out Manchester, Tennessee. Common John Brewing. We've got John and LeBron hanging out with us tonight. What's up, fellas?
Hey.
How's it going?
We're in the back of the brewery tonight, Mitch.
In the middle of the brewery.
Middle of the brewery.
Where the magic happens.
This is the kind of space that I'm more comfortable in than the front of house. So I enjoy seeing all the behind the scenes and, you know.
We got a good behind the scenes already. We kind of started. You guys gave us a tour of the place, and for a brewery that's only been in its second year, like you guys have done some really, really good expansion in a fair, quickly amount of time.
We tried. What time and money will allow.
Everything looks great.
Yeah,
I love the color palettes, the branding, all the different kind of decorations you've got here. I'm a fan of like old cars, old tractors, and I love seeing that just sprinkled about and used within the space. So,
and I will say, as a man from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm a little out of my element out here in Manchester / Woodbury. Are we in Woodbury yet, or is this more like Manchester?
Close. 20 minutes away.
20 minutes away from Woodbury.
We are on Woodbury Highway.
Okay.
210 Woodbury Highway.
Tell us about yourself a little bit, guys. Introduce yourselves. Obviously we know who you are, but who are we talking to?
I guess I'll start off.
Yeah, LeBron.
No, I don't want to start with John since he's not the Common John. I'm
just commonly here.
So my name's LeBron Haggard. I'm one of the, you could say I'm one of several founders, but one of 4 owners, I guess. I don't know. It's myself and my aunt are partners on the brewery, so we're the owners. But this all started a long time ago in our garage, brewing a homebrew, and a lot of people have had their hands in it and helped out getting this stuff going. But yeah, so I started homebrewing in like 2008, 2009. Fell in love with it. Fell out of love with it for a while, and got tired of bottling all the time, and met a good buddy, Derek Gallagher, who still helps out a lot with the brewery. He does a lot of our creative work. But he had been brewing, same kind of deal. His buddy that he'd been brewing with left. We met each other, started brewing, and started kegging, and everybody was like, yeah, you need to sell this beer. And I'm like, well, I can't. They're like, well, you need to start a brewery. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. People love free beer, you know. So we started sending some beer off to competitions. I got sick and tired of my day job, and always had that itch to have my own business, and it's been about 3 years putting our business plan together, and luckily we were on it was like last straw with me. I've been through 10 places, and I was ready to give up. We couldn't find a place, and this one kind of fell in our lap, and that was early 2019, and we spent about a year and a half getting it built out, and opened up 2 years ago now.
Right on. And then COVID came.
Yeah, we opened. We were originally shooting to open in April of 2020, and we had a lot of issues with weather, trying to get the parking situated and stuff. You know, we had to pave to open up, and the weather delayed it until September. And of course, if we wouldn't have opened in April, because that's when all the closures were going on.
Yep.
So by the time we opened up, everything had kind of loosened up here in a small town. They didn't really have a lot of restrictions. We tried to do stuff ourselves, but people just came in droves. We had tables over here in the brewery just to kind of space people out. Although we weren't supposed to, we were just trying to do the right thing, and then people would just drag tables back up together. But
you tried.
Yeah, I tried.
You tried.
We did our best, but I can't say it hurt us a lot, because we opened up when everybody was ready to get back out again. So it was kind of been blowing and going ever since.
And head brewer as well.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Something like that.
We recently, about 4 or 5 months ago, I guess, we hired our first full-time brewery person outside of myself and my daughter. My daughter, Shelby, she's got her master's from MTSU in fermentation science, and she helps brew when she can, but she manages the tap room and She wears a lot of hats. So
Nice.
I say I'm a head brewer and chief janitorial officer because it seems like that's what we're doing all the time, just cleaning stuff.
Chief janitorial officer. That's awesome, man. We appreciate you having us on tonight. That's awesome.
No, thanks for inviting us, man.
John, what's up, man?
Hello.
Tell us about yourself.
So, I actually, my full-time gig is in healthcare finance, and it's kind of how, like, went to school for that and just always in healthcare, but always had a passion for craft beer.
Nice.
And being from West Virginia, moving down to Tennessee 3 years ago, luckily I was fortunate to come across this place. I moved to Tullahoma, Tennessee in December of 2019. You know, I had one local brewery that I could go to, and I was in Nashville every weekend, basically, trying to figure out the beer scene up there. Also Atlanta and Chattanooga, also good beer scenes.
Definitely.
So I'm also a home brewer. I did a lot of home brewing with my dad, and we specialize in smoked beers. So my dad and I, we everything we did was smoked beer. So we got to learn about the brewing process and really bonded over that over the past 6 years when I was in West Virginia. So
Wow.
we got a lot of time just experimenting with that. And
Oh, that's awesome.
then Common John comes about. I see it pop up on my social media page. I was like, well, that seems like fun. So I'm all about going to a new brewery and checked it out, and fortunate enough to meet LeBron and sort of become one of my better friends. And then he hired me on as the CFO of Common John Brewing Company, and which is for clarification though, CFO at Common John Brewing Company as Chief Festival Officer. So
And hiring is loose terms too. I don't know.
I'm on the payroll.
Yeah, technically.
But,
John gets 15% off on all anything at the tap room.
But yeah, no, festivals are super fun, and we're definitely doing a lot, just getting the name out there. And every time we're up in Nashville, I mean, I see y'all at Living Water and breweries in Nashville. It's just getting that name out there, Common John. Everyone knows of it, and some people like to make the drive, some people don't. But it's just making it a destination. So
Heck yeah.
It's not that bad of a drive for me. I think 35 minutes, 40 minutes, Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was straight shot all the way here.
yeah, and that's one thing too. A lot of business comes from Chattanooga going to Nashville, or Nashville to Chattanooga. A lot of people don't know how close it is off the exit 110 in Manchester. And we do get a lot of people in here in the tap room. They're like, oh, we didn't know this was here. We're going to Stone Fort to go hiking and stuff like that. And no, it's right off the exit, super close. Stop in for a pint, and that's what a lot of people do on Sundays. We generally get a lot of traffic there.
That's awesome.
So
I didn't expect I know we have like a lot of hiking destinations around this area, and maybe 40 more minutes inwards. Oh, I'm a little too far out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't expect to hear that kind of input. So I'm glad there's some foot traffic and you're close enough for it. The closeness to that exit really surprised me on my way down. I'm all the way from Goodlettsville, right next door to Hendersonville. So a little bit of that traffic at 4 o'clock. And but I got through it. There was maybe 25 minutes of slowdown. It really wasn't that bad.
yeah.
They're just working on the interstate. Once that clears up, which
You're right.
4 years from now, it'll be even quicker for me. But yeah, no, it was a good drive. It's a real pretty day. Fall finally here.
Beautiful weather.
And it
Feels great.
feels amazing. I love the cooler weather. I love the color changing. And I can't believe it took me 2 years to just get down here and say hi. But here I am finally.
And you guys have a killer outdoor space, too. We were looking at that beforehand. It's perfect weather for it. You guys got that. What was the goat turf?
Yep.
Goat turf.
Yeah,
Goat turf.
Goat turf. Goat turf.
Goat
That's
turf.
a tongue twister. They're I think they're based out of Murfreesboro, but we actually I think it was what's the brewery? Avondale in Birmingham. I went down for a football game, and me and Goody,
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Richard Goodwin, Goody's World of Beer. He he's a big Bama fan too. So we went down to a game and stopped at Avondale. I'd been in the front house and never been in the back, and they have a really nice outdoor space, and they have the turf and stuff there. And I was like, man, this would be really awesome. And when we were doing the construction here, we were trying to get open just to pay the bills, and there was this grass. We had put in sod and stuff and had it grown up pretty well. And just the area where it was at kind of stayed a little wet, and then we did a little construction putting the stage, the outdoor music stage and stuff up, and we made a mess, and I was like, man, we need to do something else. And I told my partner, I was like, I'm going to put turf down. And she's like, oh, that's kind of expensive. I was like, I'm going to find a way. I found a way, and the guys from Goat Turf came down and leveled a bunch of stuff up, got the drainage and stuff in much better condition than we had it, and it's just really awesome. Because, I mean, it's people, my dad jokes, he has somebody ask him one time, he was like, wow, y'all, what do y'all do to that grass to keep it so green in the winter? And he said, a lot of fertilizer. But no, it's just like it's similar to, you know, what they would put on I guess it's a little taller than
it is a little taller than AstroTurf.
Yeah, like you would have on a football field.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were, man, the Goat Turf guys, one of the most professional group of guys I've ever worked with. I mean, they were super efficient. They came in here and had it, I think they started on a Monday, and it was done by like Thursday afternoon or something.
Good on them.
Wow.
Very quick.
And play around.
Mm.
I like the space is huge. They've got the Mitch. They've got the stage out there, and a lot of outdoor seating. And you guys got a lot of indoor seating too. I mean, just everywhere. You got the bar area. You've got tables out there, and then you have, what was that area, John? You called it the Nook.
Yeah, the Nook where we do a lot of acoustic, and Singo will be out there. Yeah, it's a good little indoor
Yeah,
stage.
the indoor space is kind of divided into three pieces. We got what we call the Nook, which is kind of attached area. We have just a small stage for indoor music, and then back room, we call it the East Tap Room, but it's where the bathrooms and stuff are at. And then we have the bar area. So we got seating inside. I think our capacity is somewhere 175, 180 people.
Yeah, that's inside?
Inside, yeah.
Wow.
We don't have quite that much seating. That's just if we could have that many. We just don't have the tables configured that way.
What are we drinking, by the way?
Yeah.
We've got this is a hazy, is it an IPA?
So yeah,
it's a pale ale.
Slow down easy.
Oh, this is part of your IPA series.
Yeah, it's our
Chapter 6.
Yeah.
Our whatever you want to call it. Our New England hazy IPA. I don't
just
know.
a name nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know what it's the, you know, we don't put, actually on that one we did a little mash hopping, which is supposed to help with a little bit of the you know, to get the fruitiness character out. We used one of the thiols is what they call it, but we used a new yeast from Omega called Cosmic Punch, which helps we put the mash hops in, which releases the thiols, and then that yeast actually helps to do a transformation to pull out a lot of those fruity characters. But there were no hops in the kettle whatsoever other than the Whirlpool. So we did a little bit of mash hops, and the rest of it's heavily dry hopped. But we used a combination of a few different hops. We used a Cryo Pop. It's like a mixture of various hops, concentrated, you know. And then
super fruity.
Vista is a new hop strain that was released recently. We used it in there for the first time.
Vista.
We actually won 44 pounds of it at CBC this year.
Nice.
So we throwed it to it.
Vista. I haven't heard of that one yet. I haven't seen it like on a can or anything.
Vista hops.
Yeah,
Vista.
That's new on me.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know how many hop varieties there are nowadays.
So many.
HBC 472.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
experimentals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the HBC number on this one.
908.
I had not heard of it until we were there, and my partner won 44 pounds of it. And one of the guys at the show told us, it was like, wow, that is a major amount, because they didn't grow much of it. It was like a lot of people would die for that much of those hops, which 44 pounds doesn't go far even for us.
I was going to ask, on average, how many pounds of hops do you put in like in this series? Like if you're brewing obviously it depends on the amount you're brewing, but
we put
how much of this series do you make at a time, and how much hops do you put in each batch that you make?
Yeah, so we put a ½ pound per barrel in mash, and then we whirlpooled with, I think, around 1 to 1.5 pounds per barrel. We did two dry hops. We did one, what they call biotransformation hop, where we actually pitch it while the yeast is still active. So I think we did a half pound on that, plus another 1.5 pounds second dry hop. So you're talking about 4 to 5 pounds per barrel. So you're times 7 barrels. So
yeah,
talking about
35 pounds,
35, 40 pounds. A lot.
You won all your hops, basically.
For free.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
It's a
Long term, maybe
It is
not,
our
but-
most expensive beer we've ever made. That's for sure.
In the finance industry, that's called margin.
Slush fund.
Well, to me, the details are hazy. So
Yeah, so we, it's a love-hate relationship with me. I like hazies. I hate them because they're kind of finicky beers. It is a very popular beer style right now.
Yeah.
So you got to have one. But we just decided to do a lot of people do it. We just decided to do a series and just keep messing with it and tweaking on it, trying different things. We're getting pretty close. Our next, it won't be in our series, but we've got a plan to do one of my homebrew buddies who is now we hired him to be a brewer. He has a little girl that has Down syndrome. So there's a project called Try 21, and it is about raising money for Downs, and they have a base recipe that's a hazy. So we're gonna getting kind of loud back
Someone
there.
was excited.
We're going to that'll be our next hazy brew that we're gonna do, but it'll be more like I'm gonna be shooting for 8% upwards of that one.
Ooh, okay.
Kind of helps out a little bit too because
Yeah.
you get those higher ABV and you get a little bit more sugar left in it, and it kind of balances the bitterness out a lot more. So I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be similar to this, but we're gonna kind of try to go over the edge with it a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Beers for a cause are always a good thing too. Like there's a difference between doing a beer for a cause and like pandering to a group of people, but like something that goes for a good cause is good. If you're always like, oh, we're gonna put used tires in our match for the bike club, like come on, like you're obviously just pandering to a group. But I like the whole concept of, like when they had the Brewers for Ukraine beer,
Right.
And then they had like the what was the
If you did the tire thing, you could just call the beer Tread Lightly.
see? You guys are hiring in the marketing department.
Well, what was that evil twin beer where they put the $100 bills and pizza
Oh, yeah.
in the stout? They actually put legit
Yeah.
dollar bills in
I
the
did.
beer. I remember having that.
Mitch, I believe you, me, and DJ shared that beer
yeah.
one afternoon.
It
Felt richer after that.
I did.
it was a little
Or
weird.
poor, one of the two.
What was that called? I am curious now. That one, did they ever make a return of that series?
I
or
think that was the one and done. I didn't think I saw a
I
return.
mean, they
They could have
probably
done like
lost
$50
money.
bills, but
Yeah, that's true. They didn't specify what kind of amount, I guess.
No.
It could have been all singles.
So talk to about the name of Common John. That's something I want to get into. So I mean,
How much time do we have?
I mean, whatever time you got, but
No, we so for what it's worth, it one of the things when I first went, the first craft brewers conference I went to, I sat in a kind of a startup seminar, and they were talking about how important it was to pick a name that somebody hadn't used. One of the guys was talking about it was the guys from Liquid Mechanics. I don't remember what name they had, but they had actually picked a name, did all their branding and stuff, were ready to open, and they got a cease and desist because they had a name that somebody had trademarked. So at that point, I was like, wow, I got to spend some time on this. And we literally have notebook pages of names, and it just seemed like everything that really resonated with us, we couldn't nail
take.
down because somebody was using it. And it's not just, even though we're a different classification from like wines and spirits, from a trademark standpoint, they still kind
does
of
that still count?
Yeah, still. So I mean, one of the original ones we really wanted to do was Stomping Grounds. Because this is where I grew up, and there's a Uinta out in Utah. They have a beer named that, and then there's a winery that has that name. So we're like, dadgummit, we can't use that one. So we kept going back and forth. Literally gave up. Had all these names. Hired this marketing company. I was like, hey, we need some fresh eyes on this. Help us kind of come up with something. And I never wanted to do that because I wanted it to be organic.
Yeah.
So we 2017, there's a little music festival that they used to do right before Bonnaroo called Music Tree. So I go there and I run into a guy I hadn't seen in like 12 years. And last time I saw him, his kid was like in middle school, and used to tutor him in like math and science over the phone at night, helping him out. And he had since then he'd moved on, graduated from college, was a pharmacist in Nashville. He started a band. The name of the band was Creature Comfort, and they had won a competition that year to play at Bonnaroo, but his buddies were playing at this free festival, so he plays in their band. So his dad was like, yeah, they're going to get up there, he's going to play in their band, and they're going to cover some of his songs because they're not supposed to be playing here because of the radius clause with Bonnaroo. And
is that a thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So they had won the Lightning 100 competition that year to play at Bonnaroo, so they got up and played a song. He got up there and covered his song, and I heard it, and I was like, man, I really like that song. So next week, my wife and I are loading up. We're going to Bonnaroo. It's like on a Thursday. I get the email from the marketing company with all these names. I'm just like, man, none of these really just hit me, you know?
Yeah.
So that Saturday, we're at what they call the Miller Lite tent where they were playing at. I walked up to the guy, the lead singer in the band, my buddy's son, and his name's Jesse, and I said, hey, what was the song that y'all were playing? And I was like describing to him. He's like, oh, we just dropped that song this week for Bonnaroo, and it's called Common John. And I was like, oh yeah. So we're there on the front row listening to him play the song, and I heard the first line of lyrics in the song, and I looked at my wife and I said, Common John is a brewery name. And I'm like on Untapped.
Doesn't exist.
I've got the trademark, the USPTO trademark search on my phone, because every time I find something, I search it. Couldn't find anything that conflicted with it, and literally sent an email to my trademark lawyer, and he, before the concert was over, emailed me back and was like, I think this is going to work. This is on a Saturday.
Wow.
So everything
awesome.
started going forward, and I talked to the lawyer. I was like, listen, I think this guy's cool with me using the name, but I said, is there any kind of legality that I need to do something? And he's like, no, with songs, they can't. It's a whole different class. They can't trademark it and prevent you from using inspiration from their song for this. I said, well, I still want to get his blessing. So we ran into him at another show after that, and I showed him some concept stuff, and he's like, this is awesome. He said, it's great that you guys got inspiration from our song to name your brewery after it. And actually, they're going to be playing this weekend, closing out our family reunion, our whole celebration.
Stamp of approval.
Hell yeah.
Creature Comforts.
Let's talk about that for a minute this weekend.
Let's talk about the reunion this weekend.
Yeah, so year number 2. We started last year. We came up, I don't even know, somebody asked us recently where it came from, but it was like, I don't know, family reunion just stuck because it's just like our customers are like family now. It's crazy the support that we get every week from everyone, and I don't know, family reunions are a cool time to get together with everybody, so we just decided to call it our family reunion celebration. And so this weekend, we started last night. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. We had what we called Super Singo last night. It's a music bingo game. We gave away some T-shirts for the festival. We gave away the winners of each of the games got a free ticket to the festival this weekend.
Nice.
Tonight we've got you guys here, and we've got the Everyday Joe shows broadcasting their radio show live from the brewery. They got several guests from the community, and our malt supplier, the rep with them, is here. He's come in town to be here for the festival, and
big time.
Full house.
we got a pretty full house. We actually got the Notchers from Jack Brown hanging out tonight, so we got a pretty busy night.
Goodness.
So one of the things here,
Typical Thursday.
Are you sure the festival's not starting right now?
so music's just like I'm not a musician. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I love music. And Common John came from a song, and that's just from the very beginning. It kind of clicked with us. We have music pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. This week we've got we'll have 3 artists playing tomorrow night. We've got Austin Bishop, who's actually all 3 guys, strangely enough, are out of Alabama, the North Alabama area. But Austin's played here several times. Really, really good musicians. I think he told me that last time I saw him, he's got several hundred songs that he's written in his library. School teacher, special ed school teacher, just an amazing young man, and I just can't. It's like I don't understand why somebody hasn't signed him by now. But anyway, he'll be opening up, and then we got Rich Henderson that'll play after him. So Austin will be at 6:00. Rich will come on about 7:30, and then our headliner is Drayton Farley. Drayton blowing up right now. He just released a new EP. I think last time I looked, he's getting close to 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify with like I think a few of his songs have like 5 million plus listens. But he's literally on his way back from. He played in Colorado like Tuesday night. They stopped in Tulsa, I think, and played last night. When I talked to him today, he's driving in.
This way.
Coming in tonight. But he's been touring with. He opened for Willie Nelson at First Bank Amphitheater in Franklin. So.
Big timer.
Pretty big timer. Several people that come here pretty often got to see him, and they said he pretty much stole that show whenever he played at the amphitheater. But he'll be doing an acoustic set from 9 to 10 tomorrow night. Really amazing artist.
Damn, I wish I had Friday night free.
I couldn't imagine going on tour and being that rapid, going around. That's some wear and tear.
I'm an old man. I'm in bed by like 8:30 or 9 every night if I can help it.
I need to be. This brewery does not allow.
You don't have that liberty right now. John, are you drinking beer in there?
I am.
Okay. He's been drinking out of one of like the Founders Mug Club like cup, and I couldn't tell. I wanted to look at it, but I
4 more
don't.
ounces more than everyone else,
So you're saying is we need to catch up.
basically.
Yeah.
This
You guys
beer's
drinking
been
this-
delicious,
Yeah.
by the way. I keep sipping on it. It's fantastic.
Mine's gone.
Well, I've been sipping it and nursing it, but it's definitely crushable. But
Very
I'm not,
easy to
I'm
drink.
not going to just chug it.
It's not the same thing that you guys are having though.
Nope. I've got damage control. Or
Yep, you've got damage
I
control.
have Darkness Calling or Dark IPA.
A dark IPA, like a
Black
a,
IPA.
yeah. Okay.
Or black, yeah.
Yeah, like
it's probably more. Gosh, I don't know. It's like hazies. There's this whole debate between the East and West Coast, but it's some people call it Cascadian.
dark ales.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of qualifies for that because it's all like Northwest hops. We use a Simcoe Amarillo blend for the.
Okay.
Some of the dark IPA, like the Cascadian dark ales, that's kind of what I know them as. But like, they've always had like this caramely black like taste. I've never really picked up on a ton of hops that I would in like even a New England IPA. Like New England IPAs are not known for being overly hoppy. Like they're hazy and drier, but they're not. I don't know. I feel like dark or black IPAs are in a different category of their own.
Yeah.
I don't know how those are brewed compared to like hazies and West Coast IPAs, but
our recipe, straight up IPA recipe, and we use just a little of what they call a Environment Carafa Special 3. It's a dehusked dark malt, so it takes away a lot of the astringency that you get. You'll get a little roastiness out of it, but if you close your eyes and take a good, swirl it really good, you'll get a straight up IPA smell out of it. You'll get. It's tricky, Your brain is very. It's very sensitive to things. So you look at something dark, and you're automatically going to think it's chocolate. You can find chocolate in anything if your brain
if you see
tells
it's
you
dark beer.
Yeah.
That's true.
I didn't think about that.
I've been tricked before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that how you're supposed to drink all beer? Is just close your eyes and just take it back? I thought that's how you're supposed to do it all these years.
I've been doing it wrong all these years.
Well, it's
No,
some,
I have to
beer.
look at it. I have to smell it.
Yeah.
I do that with everything. They laugh at me because I could be drinking a glass of tea and I'll smell it because it's just instant now.
And glass of milk. I've actually seen that.
Did you really just sniff your milk?
Purity.
In
Whole
Knoxville,
milk, or
Tennessee. I
2%.
remember you doing that.
Milk? I don't usually drink milk. I mean,
You had milk with the hash brown.
Let's take a rinse break real
Yeah.
quick, and then let's get maybe 2 more beers on deck.
Yeah.
Talk about them, get into it, talk more about what's happening this weekend.
yeah. Let the chief festival officer talk about
The CFO.
Yeah.
Hello.
We'll be right back.
All right, and we're back. I'm fully rinsed, and we've got
Refills.
all sorts of refills here.
Yes.
So, what are we sipping on right now?
This is the Black IPA.
Black IPA, Darkness Calling,
Darkness Calling.
which came from a song.
Yep. So we mentioned the how we have the connection with the brewery name.
Yep.
A lot of our beers, I would say the majority of them, have a song reference in some way. Slow Down Easy is a song from the Dirty Govs up in Knoxville. Darkness Calling is from John R. Miller song.
Who we saw at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Opening for Tyler Childers last year.
Yeah, so it's so hard to find a beer name. We usually just sit around and drink beer and listen to music.
Listen to a song and go, hey.
That's a good beer name.
Nice.
And when people come in and say, where does that name come from? It's like,
It's funny, too, like, LeBron, we'll typically go up to a little show up in Nashville and listen to some tunes, and he'll just, like, nudge me, like, that's a beer name. He puts on his list.
It's easy.
He's got a huge list.
Yeah, I have a list.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I have a list for that.
And Bonnaroo was like overload. Like we were just like, that's beer name. Oh, that's beer name. That's beer name.
Well, speaking of festivals,
yeah,
let's talk about the second. We kind of touched on it a little bit before the rinse break, but let's get into some details. So this weekend, it's been going on since Wednesday.
Yep.
Big events this weekend.
Anniversaries started Wednesday. The big event Saturday.
Yeah.
The main event Saturday. Starting at noon. Common John's first beer festival in Manchester, Tennessee. So we're looking to have 33 breweries here.
Jesus.
Ton of excitement. Getting texts daily of just people just so pumped about being here, be able to see Common John for the first time, and be able to pour their beer and to get in on the action of Common John Brewing Company.
Yeah.
So.
And most of them are local around here too, like the.
Yeah, so majority are going to be from Nashville. We do have some from Atlanta, some from north of here, Happy Trails. Calf Killer is going to be here.
Nice.
And we'll have some of their beer on. So, yeah.
33 breweries?
33, exactly.
That's a lot of beer.
No more, no less. 33 exactly.
Yeah,
sorry, guys, we hit the limit. Can't do 34.
Yeah. Well, I think John originally was like 20, I think.
I wanted 26.
26.
But LeBron's like, pump those numbers up. I'm like,
those are rookie numbers.
Yes, sir.
30 sounds better than
30 sounds
20,
way better.
25.
I said 20 plus, and he's like, no, it's these 30 plus. I was like, oh, okay, we'll do it.
But that's just breweries. I mean, you've got like home brewers coming in and home brewing competition and all that too, right?
Yep. Actually, we're doing, we got two segments. I don't know where I put them. We've got some Bleffa Kegs did some really awesome trophies that we're giving away to the best commercial and home brewer. I'll have to show you guys.
Yeah.
They're
corner.
pretty cool.
Oh,
they got the logo and everything.
So we're gonna do like a best of like for the commercial breweries. We're gonna do a where the people that are attending get to vote who gets that, and then for the home brewers, we actually had quite a few donations. Like Holston Gas donated like several tanks of CO2, and
nice.
We got a gift certificate. We got those the nice little trophy. I think Malt Europe, our main malt supplier, is going to be giving away some prizes to the home brewers, and we're going to be. We still got to work out the details exactly, but we're going to be judging the homebrew competition in some way. We're not going to make it overly critical, just whoever wins the competition gets to within reason and our limitations on our system. We're going to do a collab brew with them.
Oh, that'll be
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let them choose. We got a few charities we'd like to work with. So what we're gonna do is just take maybe $1 out of each beer that's poured from that one and donate back to charity, just
That's
to kind of
awesome.
promote the home brewers, because we're trying to pay respect from where we came from, and there's a lot of home brewers are the most technical people you'll ever meet.
They have to be.
And sometimes I hate seeing them come into the brewery because I know I was a home brewer. We're very critical of beer, and I try to make the best beer I can, but you're just you can always find stuff in everything you drink. But
Yep.
just joking. But anyway, in a way. But yeah, so we're just, we thought it'd be cool with our background coming from home brewing is kind of help to feature them, because that's beer that most people would never get to try unless they just knew these people. So I mean, that's even more unique. On top of the, there's a lot of these breweries, and they do it for a lot of other festivals. But I mean, they're bringing beer that are special allocations that we can't normally get, or in the case of a lot of these breweries, they're small breweries like us, so they don't distribute very far. So I said to people here last night when we were having our Singo event, I'm like, if you think about the cost of this ticket, our GA tickets are $55, and then the VIP tickets $85. If you wanted to drive to Columbia to go visit Bad Idea and maybe stop at Mount Pleasant and visit Twisted
You're
Copper,
spending that on your tab easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
Hell, now with gas prices, you're going to spend $30 just going over there and back. So I mean, if you think about it in that perspective, you can come in here and try all these different beers. Hey, you like it? Then they're going to go up there and visit them because they're going to want to try everything they got. So it's really good promotion for the guys.
It's a win for everybody.
Yeah. And the one thing too is the variety of beer that we're getting in. We're getting everything from sours, blondes, stouts, barrel-aged stouts, barrel-aged triple IPAs.
Barrel-aged triple.
Really? I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
That
that's
sounds...
unique.
I feel like we're running out of styles.
Yeah, right.
It's like Hollywood running out of ideas.
But like you said, it's like if you want to go down to Columbia, you can do that. We have Clarkville, Flights, Brew Pub's going to be up with us. Just the amount of variety that you have, and to be able to get that in Manchester, Tennessee is pretty impressive, I think. So.
Yeah. From a brewery standpoint, I mean, like, you guys are the only ones around here, right?
No. We have one more.
One more.
In Tullahoma, Tennessee. It's called Old Shed.
Yeah, Old Shed's been
That's right.
Old Shed.
Yeah, okay, I've heard of them before.
They celebrated 10 years recently.
10 years, yeah, this year.
Yeah, they're one of the OGs, and they came out of a homebrew club based out of Tullahoma, Estill Springs area called Backwoods Carboys, and we've got, I think, 8 representatives from that group that'll be here this weekend. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool about the home brewers. Just like we're getting 2 big clubs together, and they're bringing about the same members on both sides, and it's gonna be cool to see them kind of collab and just talk on different styles, and they're bringing a bunch of different styles.
Oh yeah,
of beer, and
homebrewers get crazy. There was one that I saw. I know there was one that had serrano peppers in it, and I feel like there's somebody else that had something pretty crazy out there. But hey,
but that's one thing too. I mean, you go to, I think East Nashville, they had some homebrewers there, but I think maybe they had like 2-3 tenths maybe homebrewers. This is going to be thick on homebrewers, so you definitely get a chance to try some of these beers that you normally would never get to try in your life, and that's one thing that's pretty exciting.
I almost appreciate that. You go to these, and this is no disrespect on anyone, but I remember going back to like when Brew at the Zoo like first opened in Nashville, and they had everything was spread out, tons of breweries, and then all of a sudden they start compiling everything together, and then it was the same beer every year, the same breweries, and hey. Everybody makes good beer. I'm not disrespecting that in any way, but you kind of lose focus on that craft of somebody says, "Hey, I have I've got a pony cake, or I've got a half a cake, or whatever, and this is what I make." And you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it because it's going to be in like a homebrewers competition, and you lose sight of that when you go to some of these really, really big beer festivals around Nashville. So to be able to come to like a party or reunion where, a party where you have 30 something breweries on tap. Oh, and by the way, on top of 30, you've got 20 plus home brewers in the competition. Like, that's a sizable amount in comparison to breweries that you have coming. So it gives you an opportunity to try stuff that you'd probably never tried before.
True. That was the point of doing it. I think John thought I was crazy in the beginning when I said I want to do it.
I mean, you still might be crazy, but
I have to be crazy to be doing this.
True.
Yeah. But I would like
I look at the equipment around me.
Look
they can't see my eyes.
The common sense is out of the question.
Add one more thing though, is the fact that we have all these home brewers. We have the 33 breweries.
Amazing.
We're gonna have the tap room open. We're gonna have live music till 10 o'clock. We've been in communication with different, because Manchester doesn't have Uber, but we have individuals that have a business that they can drive people around. We're doing a special rates for the festival at one of the hotels locally in Manchester.
Nice.
So if you go on the website, you can see that rate and what it is to actually stay the night. If you are concerned about coming into Manchester and just you won't be able to make it back to Nashville or Chattanooga.
Crash at the hotel.
Yeah, crash at the hotel.
That was a bad choice of words. I didn't mean to.
Not crash the
drive
hotel.
to the hotel.
But
Get a ride to the hotel.
you have options.
Yeah.
If you do think that it's going to be too far. So we obviously don't encourage drinking and driving.
Right.
But we did provide those options for those individuals
that's cool.
that do want to do that. So
That's a cool concept.
Bunny's Rideshare.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on our Facebook page.
Nice.
Buddy's Rideshare.
She actually is an Uber driver.
Yeah?
I think she does it kind of on the side sometimes, but they have 2 cars and they have we listed the dispatch. Well, you can go on their Facebook page and see the dispatch number, but
And also,
they'll be
too,
running people around.
it brings up to the point of just the family reunion. It's just the fact that, yeah, if there's not an Uber driver and we physically see that you cannot drive and you're in a tough spot, there's not someone here that can find you a ride.
Right.
Like, someone's going to drive you somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, right.
we might not make you up to Nashville, but we'll get you to a hotel and make sure that you're safe and you're not
Yeah.
going to drive. So
Right on.
there's always that option.
John will take you to his house. Just don't go in the dungeon though. Just kidding.
I've heard about
Well,
this dungeon
I'm
before.
not kidding, but I am kidding. He tried to push me in
Dungeons
the dungeon.
under construction at the moment.
LeBron's been there before.
Yeah,
He's
no.
been there several
I was at
times.
the
He
top.
doesn't remember much, but he's
I
been
was
there
at the
before.
top of the steps, and I was like, I'm not going any further into this dungeon. Feel like I'm gonna be locked up down here brewing beer for the rest of my life.
I like it. I like the concept. So general admission,
55.
$55,
Yep.
and that gets you what?
So you'll have the opportunity to have a 6-ounce pour of the 33 breweries that are available, plus the homebrew competition. You'll be involved with that. We have some food vendors. We're actually doing, new to Common John Brewing Company, we'll have lobster rolls for sale actually at the fest. So you'll be able to purchase lobster rolls.
And they will be reasonably priced too.
Yeah.
Not like those $20 lobster rolls that you get at
Pinky
someplace.
up lobster rolls.
And my wife is from, or her family is majority from Maine. And so I've been up there quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I've had a fair amount of lobster rolls, and these are pretty good.
Okay.
I'm a fan of these here. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll have Shane Rogers. He'll be
yeah.
doing some pierogies. He's taking off tomorrow to make 400 pierogies.
I have yet to have a Shane Rogers pierogi, by the way.
They are as big as your hands
Yeah.
on
Yes.
each one, and
gosh.
he has a following. There's people that have contacted me. They're like, Shane's gonna be doing pierogies, right? So
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have food vendors. We have some crafts, so we'll have 6 craft vendors as well. Just variation of customized fire pits, to jewelry, to merchandise. There's a few that are just going to be bringing some beer related.
I think Gert's going to have some.
Like-
GRS is going to have some
craft swag,
beer
beer
related
swag.
swag.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
So-
does some T-shirts for us. Like we got some really cool. Like I'd dry hop that shirt.
But also too, I mean, outside of the crafts and the beer, we are going to have live music going on. You have an opportunity to come into the brewery if you'd like. So it's not your traditional locked-in brewery. I mean, you can go about. We have a huge outside, so you'll have an opportunity to see the brewery as well as enjoying all the festivities.
Yeah.
With that, you get a wristband, things like that.
Yeah, so the festival area will be fenced off, and you'll have to have the ticket.
Yeah, you have to have wristband.
That makes sense.
And then, but you'll be able to come through the brewery like if a customer comes through and they're, they don't want to buy a ticket to go to the festival, they can still come in and have a beer and even go out into the
Hang out
courtyard
in
and
the
watch the
outside.
Nice.
music, listen
That's
to the music.
awesome.
Then the almighty VIP.
So VIP, you actually have to go through a special door. I'm just kidding. No.
I think
It's the door with the steps that lead down.
I went
Yeah,
to that
it's
door
actually
once,
the golden door.
The gold. I don't remember going. Once I went in there, I don't remember going down. But
Well, we were GA when we walked, so.
oh, okay, gotcha.
But no, VIP, so they'll get some additional swag when they check in. They'll get a Common John beer mug with the whole logo, the family reunion, things like that.
Yeah, it's a really nice,
cool
like,
mug.
we'll show you
glass
guys
mug.
Yeah, it's like a Stein kind of. They call it
Nice.
a bullet glass, but it's similar like a German Stein.
And a sweet
it.
T-shirt, which I showed you all the
Yes.
T-shirt later. It's got the logo on the front and got all the breweries and artists on the back, which is definitely going to be a pretty popular shirt around
Yeah, so
here.
it's I don't know. I think between the shirt, it's like $30 more for the ticket, but I think it's like 45 or 50
$50
for
so
the stuff.
You
so
save
get
about $20
Get
by
the
doing
VIP
that,
ticket. And
Nice.
which I think we only have 5, maybe a few more than left. VIP's about to sell out.
We
so.
actually have oversold what we originally said on VIP.
That's a good problem to have.
yeah.
And that's one thing too, is like, I mean, if you can't buy a ticket on Eventbrite on the Common John page, you are able to buy a ticket day of. So if you are deciding you're on the fence, you want to come see what it's all about, you can come into the tap room and buy a ticket day of the festival.
Right
Good to
on.
know.
So we will have that available. We will cap,
we
cap it.
We should. I mean, I don't think we're quite at our cap, but we're getting close to it. So, but I mean, I think right now it looks like we'll still have some tickets available. We've got a lot of people. I think that we're, but this is after hindsight's 2020.
First time.
This time of year, it's our anniversary. We wanted to try to get it right on it, and it
Right.
worked out that October 1st we opened on Thursday, October 1st, 2 years ago. It hits on a Saturday, so it's like,
Right.
this would be cool to do this, but then we've got there's 2 other music events going on in town. We've got our
It's like
annual.
October 1st is a busy day
Yeah,
for
there's
everyone.
a ton of weddings going on. Even getting the stuff like the tents was tough for us because everybody's got something going on.
Clemson plays NC State. My wife went to Clemson, so I had to do that plug.
Shout out to John's wife.
Hey.
Clemson State.
We should give a shout out to both of our wives for putting up with us.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Like LeBron and I, we've gone back and forth on so many things, and we see a lot of things alike, and we want things perfect all the time. So like, we've butted heads a couple of times, but
Oh yeah. I have to remind him sometimes when I send a dirty text message. I'm like, John, I just want you to know I love you
yeah,
and I hate you in the same breath.
Screw you.
Yeah.
that happened.
I swear, if he'd have been, he could pass for my son. That's the thing about it. He's a little older.
He is quite a bit younger than.
But I mean, like in the literal mental sense, he could be. I think everyone says. I even called him Little LeBron one day, and I think he got offended by it.
Someone said it was a good rap name, so
Yeah.
rapper name.
Lil Braun.
Lil Bron.
Lil Braun.
Yeah, taking out one of the L's is good.
Yeah, Lil LeBron's a little hard to say. This is the beer talking at this point.
Hey, now it's time to be creative.
What was this? This was the. So we talked about this was the Cascadian Darker. This is the black IPA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Darkness Calling.
It was good. I enjoyed it. This
Nice,
is.
malty.
I'm not a huge black IPA fan, and we were talking about that a little bit during the rinse break. And I'm like, let's do the black IPA. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the like. It's gone. Yeah, this
Look
is
at that lacing.
super easy to drink,
super
man.
nice.
I love this thing. I did this. I did what you mentioned. I closed my eyes and I took a sip, and I was like,
You kind of got to get the smell going.
Yeah.
You can pick it up.
it was
Pretty
super
distinct.
tasty.
Yeah.
Good work. What's the ABV on that one?
Oh, 6.8, I think.
Oh, okay. It's not too bad.
Nice.
I think it's like, I know I'm a big dude, but I didn't have lunch today, so like the second beer is already hitting pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
man.
it was the first IPA that
Usually
that got
that's
me.
me.
Yeah, I know. Normally I'm the one that. What are you pouring there, Mitch? Which one is that?
So that is our straight and narrow. Same ABV as your Miller Lights,
Yeah,
Bud
it's-
Lights.
So it's like we did the.
It's LeBron's favorite beer to brew.
Can I steal a little of your water, Mitch? Can I pour a little bit of that water
Of course.
in here to kind
Of course.
No, you can go ahead and have that one. We've had them
That's
all.
true.
so you
That's
can
true.
just
Oh,
pick it
okay.
out.
Right on. All right. I didn't mean to.
Trust me,
Yeah, I
we've
don't
had
think you wanna-
all of these.
I don't think you want to put that light beer in that.
Yeah.
Well, you did.
I did.
Yeah. So that's just. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like a blonde. We call it a golden
It's
ale.
the easy drinking beer.
Yeah, just a crusher.
Yeah.
4.2%. I think calculation on calories is like 92 or 93 per 12 ounce.
Are we counting calories now?
Well, I like to tell people when they come in here and they're like, I want a Mick Ultra. I'm like, hey, this is our Mick Ultra Killer.
John, this has 92 calories for 16
It's good
ounces
to know.
of beer.
I won't drink it though.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 92 for 12 ounces. That's the way they do it.
Oh.
It's per 12 ounces.
That's like 2 points on Weight Watchers.
Yeah, right.
Hey man,
Yeah.
it's better than water.
There is
It's way better than water.
A lot of
It's got
people like
flavor.
that beer.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
A lot
that's a
of people
good
like
beer
that
name.
beer.
Has anybody got that?
Weight
Better
Watchers?
Better than water?
Better than hey, that's not a bad idea.
That would be a good
I
beer
drink
name.
that. I would drink that beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than water, like almost like a blonde ale or something like that.
I mean,
that could be your low calorie beer name.
yeah.
Water but better.
Water, but better. That's a little more flow to it.
No, it's tasty. I mean, it's hard to follow up on a black IPA and a New England IPA and then go into something like this. But
Yeah, it's a great rinser.
yeah.
It's like your Hells from
This is the
Brewery.
most popular beer. Like this one, you guys have constant, right? Oh, we're getting called away.
How many minutes?
5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes, John.
All right, let's bang through these beers, man.
Well, I mean, I can hang around. I don't.
All right.
Yeah. Y'all continue. I just
All right.
expect that Montana beer being delivered.
We're going with the flow. Yeah, we'll make sure you get some of that.
Yeah, we'll bring some up to you. We've got a couple of beers that we share for at the lightning round. So
Maybe would they be adverse to getting a pour?
bartenders and what and such.
Well, I definitely want the staff to get a pour, but the show.
Oh, the Everyday Joe show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
probably
they
do.
do. Be good.
We can grab some. All
right.
I want to get a picture real quick.
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely. Cheers. There you go.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, thank
Yeah.
you for setting all this up for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And like been a long time. We've hung out a couple
Yes.
times. We've
Yes.
hung
Yeah.
out. So definitely get y'all down here. It's definitely something that y'all see what I've been talking about all this time. In
Yeah, it's
Nashville.
good
Yes.
to finally actually come see the space. Like again, 2 years in, you guys are killing it.
Thank
Like
you.
it's
Yes.
unbelievable to see the amount of growth that you've had in 2 years. I mean, just from a space perspective, like the outdoor seating, you've got the nook, and then you've got this area back here. You've got the bar area, and then you've got your like general seating area. Like there's a ton of space that you can be used, and just it's the footprint's large, but you guys have rotating beers and good on you. Like
yeah,
it's
I
hard
think
to do.
once we get all of our, we're up to 10. Well, we're at 9 right now, but we're going to probably have about 11 or 12 beers of ours on tap. That's a lot for us, given our capacity right now. But,
Sure.
I mean, in the future, we're looking at going to, when we add our other tanks, we'll get up to probably, I would hope, 12, 15 of our beers on tap all the time. But, we'll always have some guest taps because I love that. The first place I ever saw it was at Three Floyds.
Yeah,
They had guest taps, and I'm like, this is really cool because you can bring beers in that you're not making yourself, like a style, or you
Yeah.
can just bring in a really awesome beer, and that's what we try to do. We try to stick to Tennessee beers, but if we ever get a chance to get something super special, we'll put it on tap.
So I have to go freshen up for my next show. And
Go to the powder room.
have to
he's
go to
getting the
powder room.
glitter off
But
of himself.
I will say this: the best is yet to come for Common John.
There you
There's still
go.
a lot more
Yeah.
coming up. So
Awesome.
thank y'all for having
Appreciate
me
it,
on.
Ben.
So
Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate
I'll
it.
See you
That's
around.
awesome.
catch
man.
y'all a little bit.
Yeah, that
later,
sounds
so.
good.
Cheers.
We've got just a couple more tasters to go through. If LeBron doesn't mind walking us through those. Is
So-
that the next one?
I think this is Better in the Fall, Heathen. Damage.
purpose,
All right, yeah.
pumpkin.
So Better in the Fall, that's our fest beer.
Go ahead. I'll let Mitch pour his first. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Actually, you know what? Let me pour mine first into here, Mitch, and then you can just have that taster. That way we each have a taster going forward.
All right.
Which one is this?
It's called Better in the Fall. So that's also from a song from the Stillwoods. So that's our fest beer. This is the second year that we made it. It's kind of like right on the borderline between, Oktoberfest kind of, to me, I mean, there's different classifications, but Oktoberfest is a little bit of a generic term, but I mean, there's fest beer and Marzen. Marzen is a little bit darker.
Yeah.
Our Heathen Child we call it a Vienna lager, but it's
I love that name, by the way.
it dances around in that category close to a Marzen as far as the recipe style. But we call this a fest. On color-wise, it's right kind of on the upper end of a fest beer style. But, it's just a good Oktoberfest style beer.
Very nice flavor.
I think that one again is in that like low 6% range, if I'm not mistaken.
This is my for the fall season. This is what I go for.
Yes.
Something like this.
Yes.
Now that it's starting to, I mean, it's 60 degrees outside right now, and this is perfect weather. We've got the bay door open. You know, we're sitting right outside, and we've got a little bit of the cool air coming in. This is the type of beer I want to be drinking during this weather.
Man, the just to touch on that last beer though, it had better flavor than most offerings in the same style. It's got a good
the
sweetness.
black IPA.
Not just the black IPA.
Oh no, the okay,
Straight narrow,
the straight narrow.
Yeah, so straight narrow is just our super light beer. We use we bitter with Warrior hops, just a little Warrior. It's a very clean bitterness.
Yeah.
That recipe is mostly Pilsner malt with a little bit of flake corn, and then we so you'll get a little bit of that. I don't know what I'm trying to find the word, but
I'm always
you get that
scared
corn,
to say corn.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you got to be careful because there are times. I mean, some beers you don't want corn flavor
Right.
in.
Yeah.
This one has it in it because it's modeled after just a super light beer.
And this is one of your best. Like you have this one on all the time.
Oh yeah, straight narrow is the one that we have on all the time because I would literally be drug out here in the parking lot and beat
If
to
you
death
didn't
if I
have it on
didn't have
tap.
it. Yeah.
for its purpose, it was delicious. You know what I mean? I would definitely have that if I had to do yard work.
Yeah, that's a good yard beer.
It is, and that's funny you say that because we've got several different beers that we brewed. Like we really spent one whole summer when we were home brewing developing different light beer recipes, and that's what we called them lawnmower beers.
Lawnmower
Yes.
beers.
My old man he's got an excavation company and he runs around with a lot of farmers because we called it the tractor pulling beer. I wanted a beer that the people with that like to crush Busch Light would drink, and that's what happened. They loved it and it took off, and I'm not a super. I'm more like I like the Pilsners, German style light beers more than I do, the light ales. But that one took off, and it's
You can't change it now.
It's here for good.
Yeah.
We use a little bit of a Czech Saaz hop for the aroma in it too. So
That one I have heard of before. It's not one of those ones you see on an everyday beer label, but I have heard that one.
yeah, it's
before.
an really old school European hop. I think
Okay.
if I remember right, I think Miller uses it in Miller Lite. I think that's one of the hops they use for their aroma.
Well, shit, that must be why I like it.
I think it's way more gooder than Miller Lite.
Yes, it is. It is, by far. I wouldn't mind buying what you have in the pony-sized glassware that they have High Life back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd
Well,
be-
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just to make some little straight and narrows in those little
That'd be
ponies.
fun, yeah.
Are those called ponies? Like
I always called it a Miller pony. I don't know what it is. It's like a 10-ounce little
Yeah.
squatty.
Yeah. Do that.
Yeah.
It's like an
That
Easter,
would be awesome.
Yeah.
Easter gift. I don't know.
It'd be fun. Put it in a 6-pack.
I don't know what it is about it. It's definitely it's convenient to throw in the pocket.
Yeah. Lawnmower beer.
don't know,
Like it's
man.
good lawnmower beer.
The ponies are just like interesting to find in
Yeah.
this day and time.
Oh, you're talking about that? Okay, I got you
the
now.
glassware, the bottle.
Oh, this beer's hitting me hard, man.
man.
I'm telling you.
But that's
Better than the fall.
yes, better in the fall. This flavor is definitely cleansing my palate of the lighter
Yeah,
beer.
it's good.
That's what I got.
That's
last
what you were
time, too,
drinking.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been drinking like 16-ounce pours the whole time, and LeBron's had a separate. He's been drinking something different every single time. I'm like, all right, that's
what's
fine.
up.
We're not drinking that one. But that's what came next. It's good. 6.8. You said
Good
No, that
nose.
was low 6. Like
Low 6?
6.1. something
Okay.
like that.
got a good flavor to it.
very good.
Backbone. Not too not overly caramel. You're right. It is kind of like that cross between like an Oktoberfest and a Fest beer.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's nice and pretty in between there. I like it. I'm digging it.
Yeah, this is really tasty.
Is this part of the fire? Or did John leave his beer?
Oh yeah, that is the pumpkin beer.
Pumpkin beer. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to get
Sorry.
basic here.
But he had mentioned it is that time of the year. It's that
Yeah.
season. Pumpkin Fest season.
I really liked that.
All the basic girls
seasonal.
come out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I might get a pint of that when I go sit at the bar later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the next one up is Heathen Child. So that is our so
Yeah, sure.
funny story. First beer we ever brewed, straight and narrow. I brewed a super light beer. I was shooting for like a 4.8% beer, ended up 4.2, and I'm like, man, I missed that. Everybody loved it. We called it Summer Ale. It's
How's
always
that
called
happen? How's that happen, by the way? Like you're shooting for an ABV and then you end
Well-
up lower or higher.
Well, we being the first brew that we ever did, we were just working off of information that other people give us. So you got different extractions from the malt. Your process has different, the way you your mashing process and everything has some impact on your efficiency. So just that I was told we were going to get this much efficiency. We didn't get that much efficiency, so it ended up a little bit lower ABV. Gotcha. So we brewed that beer. Everybody loved it. We called it Summer Ale to begin with. We had the name Straight and Narrow picked out. We just rolled with it after that. So after the first batch, we brewed the second one. Taste profile and stuff was the same. So we're like, okay, this is going to be our flagship light beer. So the second beer we brewed, I went for a Vienna lager. Because I was like, people were always like, I want a lager. I'm like, okay, here's a lager. And they're like, no, I want a light beer. I'm like, what do you want? Do you want a light colored beer? Or do you want a lager? Yeah, what do you want? Because it was really a game that we were playing with the light ale and the amber lager. And when we brewed it, I'm still tweaking. It's a higher ABV beer, so I overshot my efficiency on it. So I'm still kind of dialing stuff in. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get like 5.2, 5.3. Ended up at 5.8, so I'm still trying to dial everything in. So I was like, I'm never brewing this beer again because it needs to be at 5.4%, not 5.8.
Okay.
Yep.
So we literally, people were like, you have to brew this beer again. I mean, like, we love this beer. We want you to brew it. And I'm like, I'm not going to. I'm going to tweak it. And they kept hounding the hell out of me. Like, you got to brew this again. You got to brew it again. So I'm like, screw this. We're going to do it. And I'm like, what are we going to name it? And still kind of sticking with the whole song aspect. We're big Tyler Childers fans. And Straight and Narrow came from Bottles and Bibles. There's a verse in there. It talks about staying on the straight and narrow. One of my buddies, Derek, that does our a lot of our creative stuff, he was like, he mentioned, one of his songs mentions heathens and saints. And I think it was my daughter was like, yeah, you need to name this Heathen because this is the beer that you don't want. It's your heathen.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like my heathen child, right? And I'm like, oh shit.
There's the name.
That's
the name of the beer.
Yeah. So we stuck with it. And everybody, that's our number 2 seller is Heathen Child.
Okay, so this is the other one you always have on it. This one right here is really good. I love drinking this beer.
It hits in, I think it hits like 5.7, 5.8% around in there.
All right, super good.
Yeah, but that's our number 2. I'll have to show you guys when we get done here. We're working on our can designs, and the can design that Derek did for that one is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
when we get it done, I think the can design itself is just going to make it blow the hell up.
That's awesome.
It's really cool because he took a lot of those kind of heathen, devilish elements from it.
You guys gonna be doing the 6-pack 12-ounce cans? Or are you doing like the tall boys?
We're doing 16 ounce.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, right now the only one that we're doing with a custom label is Straight and Narrow. We sell it to a few different package accounts in town, and we sell them out the door too. But we're as soon as we get through the festival and kind of get back to plugging away at the day-to-day stuff, we've got our can designs pretty much finalized, and we're working with there's some new technology out there where they actually print on the can, so it helps the small guys like us.
You don't have to worry about like the labels and that
so
kind of stuff.
We're doing labels now, and we can go and buy these cans pre-printed, and the way they do it, it's, I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm probably missing it, but it's almost like inkjet printing on a can. The cans that you buy like a Miller Lite or Budweiser, you got to buy like a tractor trailer load, and guys like us can't do that.
Nope.
So these guys will print the cans, and you can literally, there's 8 or, I don't probably got it wrong, 13 layers of cans on a pallet. They can literally print each layer.
That's
different. Because, I mean, it's just in line. They just change the program.
It's an efficiency thing for them, and it saves you time and probably money also.
Oh, yeah. And then we got to calculate the cost on it. The cost of the can printed is cheaper than the cost of us buying a can and and the label.
Wow.
Not including the labor to put the label on.
Wow.
That's nuts.
So Derek's got them queued up. We got a few little tweaks we're trying to make on them. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll have most of our flagship beers, the can designs complete on them. So I'll show you guys. I'll give you a little sneak peek of it. But there's some really kick-ass can designs.
That's gonna be dope.
With the printing on the can, are they is it going to be textured or
You can actually texture it too. We're actually kicking around. I don't know. Derek came up with the idea. I shouldn't even talk about this, but you could technically do Braille on the can.
Really?
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
It's a Feely boy.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Feel.
that's another beer name. It's a Feely boy.
That's a whole production-esque thing there, man. Feely boys.
It's a Feely boys.
So I think the next
good.
one he said it was. Yeah, it smells like damage control. I don't know.
It was. That was the next one. Was damage control.
So damage control is our flagship pale ale. So it's just really old school American pale ale. It's not the, a lot of the new ones are like lighter malt bill, more hoppy. I mean, this is in that old school pale ale category. So you get a lot of malty character out of it.
Not far from just the sort like the original style.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch.
One
This
of
is
these-
damage control, right? Yeah.
And that's exactly
That's
what
a
I was
pale ale
doing
for
when
sure.
I was lifting it over all my.
Yeah, so there is some song reference, but this one purely came from when we were doing our construction. I'm not going to name names, but there was a gentleman that I was working with on some stuff, and he's one of these like Debbie Downer guys, and he every time I'd tell him I want to do this or that, he'd be like, we can't do that or this or that. And we were working on a whole nother project before this building, and finally came back to me and he was like, so yeah, we figured all this out, what we're going to do, but we're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to use this property for like 2 years because we got to go through some zoning changes and stuff like that. I was like, dude, I got equipment ordered, I got to do something else. But I had told my partner, like, every time I talked to this guy, I was like, I felt like all I was in was damage control mode because I was like constantly trying to figure out some solution to a problem that he came up with. And I was like, I literally can remember where I was at right down the road here when I told her that. I was like, I got to remember to put this in my phone because this would be a great
Good beer name. Do you find that like going out your everyday life? Because I mean, it started out with like, songs and this kind of stuff, and then you just start talking in everyday conversation. Do you find, oh shit, that's a good beer
all
name.
the time, every day. We did it earlier with Better Than
that's
Water.
true.
I mean, I'm like, oh my God, that's a great.
Better than water.
Better than
I'm not
water.
playing. Use it, no problem. I would love to see a beer called Better Than Water.
If we did that, I'm going to put a note
Foamy
down there.
Rich for the Foamy.
Credit to the Foamy Head.
Hey, that's all we asked. That'd be great.
I would love to see a Better Than Water beer name out there. That would be awesome. I don't even care what style it is. Probably geared more towards the lighter beer style, but like it would just. Yeah, huh?
Careful.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is true to style pale ale, by the way.
Yeah, it really is. I like to call it old school.
Yeah,
pale ale.
crisp, refreshing. It's got that malt backbone, but it's a hoppy at the same time.
Because we, a lot of, I think as people kind of get that, I don't know, not really the right usage, but that hop creep, you just get more and more used to hops. Everything keeps moving up, and a lot of the tradition, a lot of the pale ales you get now are damn near what used to be an IPA. So this one's more that it's got the color and the maltiness out of it with and we use Amarillo and Cascade hops in there, so it's really old school, kind of traditional pale ale hops. So
it was tasty.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It had a very familiar nose, so it's just like it was comforting, welcoming, and I'm using a lot of superlatives or whatever. But,
that's an SAT word for the number of beers we've had tonight. Superlatives?
I guess, man, I didn't score well.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds fancy. Is that lower on the ABV side, or is that like
one is,
mid fives?
Mid fives. I think 5.4.
Okay,
maybe.
easy.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Man, old school doesn't disappoint.
Nope.
Yeah,
It's there.
I don't. Hey, like one of the things that not to say that we can't, and we will once we get the capacity to do it. I mean, we've been blessed that our customers love the beers that we got, and it's hard for us to do new stuff. We try to fit it in as much as we can. Just with the way that our tank setup is, we, 30. Actually, half of our if you really figured it out, half of our production is straight and narrow on heathen chocolate.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give us a lot
Doesn't
of
give you a lot of
options,
wiggle room for
So for us to
experimentation.
have 10 beers on tap, it's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work. You can't hardly walk in our cooler in there because there's kegs everywhere.
Well, most of your guys, they those are the two beer the people vote with their wallets, right?
Exactly,
And
yes.
people are always buying these two beers. You can't not have them.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you said, you get dragged out into the
Yeah, and I love every beer. I love hazies. I love sours. They all have their place, but it's just for us. Like I feel like our sours, our sour program's really well. We just don't get a chance to make a lot of them.
Yeah.
Mostly just small batch stuff. But
that's an experiment. Hopefully, when you guys get these new, like when you do your expansion, you get the new barrels. That'll open up a little bit of wiggle room for you.
Man, you talk about that. I love the. I've already forgotten the name for it. What was it? The pallet tractor. I don't know the name for it.
Straight and narrow.
No, the customized.
Oh, better than water?
No, it's the thing you use to lift pallets with, or
Forklift.
Or the fork.
God, yes, thank you.
Is the beer hitting
Shit.
Mitch finally?
I guess, man.
I was waiting for this moment.
I just was like pallet lifter.
Hey, that's what it
That's
is.
a good beer name. Pallet lifter.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Shit, what's the... I'm sorry, I cursed.
All good.
No,
All
don't worry
good.
about it.
You can do that.
Okay.
I don't know how we haven't.
We've
breached
been all
it yet,
night
but-
without doing it. I don't really
Yeah,
know
so-
how.
Oh, Lord.
Pallet
I've been
lifter.
trained. I was doing a radio show last week, so I had to make myself not curse. I was like, does somebody got their finger on the button?
On the mute button.
But
Man.
there's a... Gosh, what was the brewery? They're out. I think they may have closed now. I remember they had those... They had bottles that were similar to like the ponies, but they were 16-ounce bottles.
Oh, whoa.
But they had a
That's
IPA
cool.
called Pallet Wrecker.
Yeah, Green
Ooh.
Flash.
Green Flash.
Yeah.
Love Green Flash.
They don't
Yeah.
distribute here anymore.
Yeah, I don't...
They were here for a few years, and then like 4 or 5 years ago, they just
I
stopped.
feel like they shut down a lot of
They
production.
went through like a bankruptcy, I think, process and kind of
didn't
pulled
even-
back.
I thought they closed. I didn't even know they were still
They
open.
still distribute, but it's all like West Coast,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
San Diego, like that area, Nevada, Vegas.
If
Yeah.
I'm-
They
I
do
think the
that.
place I went to in
Pallet lifters are good though.
Yeah.
Because you
man.
could do pallet.
I'm
like,
not playing.
Dude.
That's what I was. That's what I was talking. See, you know what I'm talking about.
all
yeah.
you need is a picture of your pimp my pallet lifter.
Yeah, the Common John forklift out front, call it pallet lifter,
What time? And
with
date?
like a really big tongue, like
8:20. Well, it's 8:23 now, but 8:20.
yeah. Make a note. You're gonna
Love it.
forget, man.
Love
I'm
it.
telling you.
That was the.
Somebody's going to
to
steal that one. It's going to be out there tomorrow.
Oh man, that's you. That's you. Trademark.
this is,
Common John trademark.
Yeah, yeah. This ain't. It's no Creative Commons.
That's right.
We got it. Or he has it. Whatever.
What's
But-
this one?
So that is our porter. It's our flagship porter called Deeper Purpose.
Deeper purpose.
Yeah. Not,
I've been eyeing this one the whole time. I'm not gonna lie.
So it's a pretty dry porter. It's more similar to like an English dry porter. It's it's not going to have a whole lot of residual sweetness left, but you get those coffee, caramel, chocolate kind of notes out of it.
I actually, well, okay, never mind. I thought that was a good segue
Nah.
into it, but it's not. Prior to tonight, because, and I don't know, for whatever reason, Murfreesboro, maybe it's the shops I don't go to. I don't know if they just don't carry Common John or well, you guys don't distribute.
Yeah, the only place we really have.
Like
we
I'll
do-
see on tap.
Yeah,
right?
so really the only place, I guess the only place in Murfreesboro that has had our beer is Panther Creek.
yeah,
Ah,
'Cause
yeah.
we've done some collabs with them, and we trade beer back and forth, and they'll have our beer on tap.
I love JT, Jeremy, like
Oh,
like
gosh.
those
Good
guys
crew,
are all
good
good
crew.
people.
Solid, dude.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, by the way, JT. Like
Oh,
belated
yeah.
birthday. It was like
Yeah.
2 days ago or yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good people. And then,
We love those dudes.
yeah, I love Panther Creek. The only time I've actually had Common John is the Endless Day Stout, and that was back like last year, a year and a half ago, when we were doing the
yeah.
Nashville Craft Beer Social Club, like virtual. Mitch, you came over to the house.
Yeah.
And we logged
That
in on
was a
like
lot of
Zoom
beer.
and Team. Jesus, I mean, I think it was like 50. Was it $50? $55 or something for like this just massive
Yeah.
case of beer.
$50. It all goes to charity, and you get a bunch of beer from the community and locals.
And everybody just I literally took I'll show it to you afterwards, but like we brought like everybody was on Zoom, and my buddy Rich Sussin, who's like I've met him at the gym a while back, and
I forgot about that.
We don't talk much anymore, but like I see him check in. We're friends on Untapped. And I remember going, what is this Common John Brewing? Like, I'd never heard of him before. And then I go, I've seen him somewhere, and I just happened to pull up Rich's Instagram page, and I was like, oh, because he lives out in Manchester. He did work in Manchester for a while, and I was like, that's where I've seen it before. He would always, like, check in there, and so my check-in picture on Untapped was actually the stout, the Endless Day, and in the background there was the Zoom picture of your face, LeBron, because you were speaking about the beer or whatever. So I snagged it and I tagged Rich and I was like, hey, do you recognize this person? And I don't think he ever commented, but that has been my only experience with Common John, literally up until this point.
Yeah.
So I've been itching to get out here, and then when I saw Mitch talking with John, Flip Flops and Hops on Instagram, and he was like, hey, you want to do Common John? I was like, yes, I do want to do Common John. I have not been out here yet.
Our 9 to 5s really dominate our
Gets
world,
in the way.
I mean,
it sucks, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
You just got to take the leap. That's all you got to do.
I know.
Man.
Sorry, baby. I'm gonna quit my good cush job, and I'm just gonna start talking to brewers for a living.
Yeah, how's that gonna pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
It's not, but it's all fake money anyway, apparently, right?
I mean,
good porter, by the way.
very tasty.
I like this.
It really, it had a good aroma to it too.
It's easy to drink.
I like to lean towards the drier side of beers. I just think it,
It is a little dry.
The one thing, if it's drier, that usually means there's less calories. You don't have all that sugar to fill you up. You can have a few more beers. They go down better.
Okay.
They really do. Is
that really a thing? Drier beers are less calories?
Yeah. Yeah, because you got the yeast and you can put enzymes and stuff in there to help process the sugars even better. But the more sugar the drier you get, the less calories it is.
It's like diet beer.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't want to sell it that way.
No.
No, we don't.
I don't know, man. Diet Coke's been making a killing. Nobody likes it, but everybody drinks it.
Now that is a conundrum. I don't.
That's
get
all
that.
marketing, man. That's
they
all
must
it
like
is.
the taste of aspartame or
Nope,
whatever it is.
not me.
Sure.
This is tasty though. I'm big fan. Chocolatey,
Yep.
caramel.
This
Yeah,
with
we
the
use
season.
Yeah. I would have liked to have had this after the Heathen Child.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have the Heathen Child. That would have been a good. This would have been a good segue into this one.
Yeah, that's we try to keep that beer on tap all the time. We're probably going to run out of it by the time we get another batch brewed, but that's the area we play in.
It is what it is.
I wish we had. Well, we may have it on tap tomorrow. I think it's almost ready. But my favorite beer that we do is I'm a huge West Coast double IPA.
There you
guy.
go. Yeah.
Our
Right here. Yep. Mitch is pointing to me.
Our flagship IPA is called Universal Sound. Again, after a Tyler Childers song.
Nice.
But it's a.
Give me the name again.
Universal Sound.
Universal Sound. Okay.
Yeah. So we transferred it yesterday. It finished carbon today, so it should be ready to put on tap tomorrow.
Damn. One day early.
Fuck!
I'd love to have been here for that.
I call it hot whenever we force carbonate in the tank. So the CO2 when you force carbed it gives it a little bit of a burn kind of to it. So we usually like to let it mellow for a few days to kind of balance out. So
Yeah.
I think we had a similar experience at Big Trouble Brewing when I can't remember which beer it was, but he mentioned he was like, it's almost ready. I feel like he had to like force carb it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you guys can give it a try out of the tank. And we took a try out of the tank. It was cold, but I feel like it was a couple of days early. And he was like, I'm trying to get it on tap for tomorrow.
They're very bright.
Yeah,
so to
that
say,
was the word he used. Yeah.
Everybody does it. I mean, all the breweries, when we have carb stones in the tanks. It's either bright. We use serving tanks, which are just basically a single wall serving tank. So we're force carbonating, and it helps us. Like in homebrew, you use sugar to carbonate. It takes weeks to do it.
Oh, yeah,
In our case,
totally,
you can carb in really in a day,
Yep,
pretty much.
overnight.
But if you try to put it on tap right after you carb it, it's just got a
Big foamy
it's a
head.
burn
Yeah.
to me. That's all I call it, a CO2 burn, or really bright.
Yeah.
So it kind of mellows out after a couple of days, and we'll start testing it tomorrow just to see how it is. But usually that beer is good after a couple of days after we take it off for carbonation.
Man. Damn, I guess means I got to come back then.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that is
You got to come back this Saturday.
This Saturday.
it's a dangerous
8%,
beer.
you said?
8%, and it is dry. I mean, it is it is as dry as straight and narrow as far as like sugar left in it. So you go drinking it, you get I really love Warrior hops. Warrior is a really good bittering hop. It doesn't give a lot of the the really, like I like to call it, like kicking you in the back of the throat kind of bitterness. It's the one that you get that kind of kick, but it just goes away.
Yeah.
And then we use Galaxy, Citra, and Simcoe as our.
Citra and Galaxy are like my two hops out there. Citra gives you that like real juicy flavor, but like Galaxy gives you, well, maybe it's the Galaxy. Citra's very fresh and like
Galaxy to
wet
me,
I
get that almost like dankiness.
Yeah.
Out of it. It might not be the right word, but to me, that's what I get out of it.
I get you.
And and Simcoe, everybody. A lot of people refer
Simcoe.
to it as cat piss, but
Yeah.
I love Simcoe. Absolutely, that's my favorite all-time hop. Right there.
Simcoe, really?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's always in play.
Yep.
There's a reason.
Yep. And then the final one, we've got a pumpkin beer sitting.
Yeah.
in
So
front of us?
the base of that is our fest beer, but we use a pumpkin pie puree and toasted marshmallows.
So this is like the Heathen Child base.
No, our fest beer.
A fest beer.
Better,
Okay,
better in
gotcha.
the fall. Yeah.
Better fall. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
So-
my fault. I have my notes wrong.
Little tangent, but not too long. I this morning I was looking
Very
for.
pumpkin-y.
I swear I'll bring it back into the pumpkin beer here, but occasionally I look for inspiration on YouTube, and you know what, YouTube houses everything, everybody, whatever. And there are some people who are reviewing pumpkin spice lattes
Ugh.
across all different Nashville kind of baristas and just coffee bars. And I hope we don't sound like them whenever we record, but there's different audiences for different folks.
Yeah.
So they went through and did their whole pumpkin thing, and no one's done that for beer yet. But pumpkin beer, experiences wise, what is the main pull inspiration pumpkin beer that you're trying to not replicate, but maybe make better or play with? And in my mind, the pumpkin beer that I would try to match would be like an imperial pumpkin.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that, but a lot of people enjoy Schlafly.
Southern Tier.
Southern
Is that what
Tier.
you're talking
yeah.
about?
Yeah,
for the
the
word, yeah.
Southern, I like theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, a lot of them, pumpkin really doesn't have the flavor of pumpkin is not really in pumpkin. Pumpkin's pretty
No,
bland.
it is.
We've
It
tried
is.
everything with like oven roasting
Like the
pumpkin
seeds
and the seeds and the it comes down to like brown
Interesting.
sugar,
Cinnamon.
the allspice, but most of the time the allspice to me comes off very potpourri like. So that was one thing. Like when we mess around with the pumpkin beers, it's like I'm like, no, that's not working. God, I don't know how many times. And I pretty much gave Shelby the go ahead on this one. I think I was out of town when she was messing with it. She's like, I'm not feeling this, and I was like. She ended up trying some different things. You got to have a little bit of residual sweetness left in it. And,
Yeah.
I think the toasted marshmallow really kind of brought it around.
Okay.
Yes. So on the nose on this,
Yeah.
it smells like pumpkin pie.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
totally pumpkin pie.
No
on the
doubt.
nose.
No doubt to my mind. And I feel like a lot of times whenever I have like a pumpkin beer and I smell the nose, I think of two things. It's both a pumpkin pie and one of those really sweet, like marshmallow top sweet potatoes.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's like toasted marshmallow
Okay.
is the note, right? So it's like you brown sugar, toasted marshmallow. There's some spice,
Yep.
and you gotta include pumpkin. I mean,
I think I took a sip. I don't know if you had a sip yet.
not yet.
I've taken a sip, and in my opinion, it smells a little bit spicier than what it tastes like. So it's sweeter. It's got that hint of sweetness, marshmallow a little bit coming through. But I'll be honest, the nose kind of made me think it was going to be a lot spicier than it really was.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because I'm not a pumpkin spice guy. So when I smell something like that, I go, okay, this is potential for like super like basic girl fall Starbucks like stuff.
Yeah.
This was not that. This is easy to drink.
It is.
It's good flavor. It just all around it's a good drinking beer.
If you like beer and you like pumpkin spice lattes,
this is it.
this fits.
Yeah.
It's within your criteria.
Yeah.
Because it's got that super sweet lift to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be disappointed.
I'm not mad at this one.
Yeah, I'm not a huge pumpkin person.
No.
I'm not either. I'm partial.
But you gotta.
Yeah.
I had my first pumpkin beer the other night, actually, last weekend.
What?
Yeah.
Your
I
first?
checked it. Yeah, I checked in a pumpkin beer last weekend.
Your first one?
Yeah.
I thought you had a Imperial Southern Tier.
This is my second pumpkin beer. That was my second pumpkin beer. I don't
All
remember.
right.
I don't
I do like the Southern Tier. That's probably my favorite. That one and because that's Pump King.
Pumpkin,
Yes.
Imperial
And then,
Pumpkin.
Funny story. New Belgium used to do a pump kick.
Yes, the pump kick.
So back before we even had opened this, we had, I think it was like 2015, we had bought a keg of pump kick, put it in our kegerator at home, had a Halloween party. We ended up drinking about half of it, set it out of the kegerator in my shop.
Yeah.
2 years later, my buddy Derek says, what if we put that back on tap? I'm like, well, technically, it's got CO2 on it. It's been sitting in here. I said, it's probably not going to taste very good because it's been sitting here going through, for the last 2 years, it's went from 40 degrees to 85 or 90 degrees in my garage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to humor you because it should be completely fine. It's had CO2 on it. We didn't it wasn't leaking or nothing. So we put it in the kegerator, let it cool down, put it on tap. This is 2017. Went and got the 6-pack of 2017 Pump Kick.
Oh,
Tried it.
Split it.
2015. And the keg that had been sitting there for 2 years was better.
Nice.
Oh, man. What?
That's great.
I was shocked. I was like,
What?
this has got to
Awesome.
be kidding me.
That's great.
What?
It was truly aged.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that, right?
I would have thought it would have been nasty.
Yeah.
Man.
I just don't imagine aging pumpkin beers.
No.
No.
Have you all ever had cauldron aged coffee beans for coffee?
Cauldron aged. What is that?
I guess it's just like, to me, that's the advertising, but that's how they describe it. So Death Wish coffee. They every year come out with a Halloween or seasonal pumpkin coffee thing, but it's a chai and pumpkin pie blended cauldron aged
That's too
on
much.
coffee bean.
Really?
Yeah, but you gotta like chai, so that's a lot of star anise,
Mm-hmm.
and then you gotta like pumpkin, and then maybe a
I
little
feel
bit
like
of that
chai and
pumpkin pie.
pumpkin would go together pretty good.
Yeah.
It is the best pumpkin coffee grounded without any added sugars or creamer or anything. I drink a lot of coffee just black.
Yeah.
That's how I like it. And theirs is the only coffee bean I really enjoy. I don't know what they do exactly other than age it in whatever the cauldron is. I just picture bourbon barrels and stuff, but they've got a whatever. And anyway, it's delicious. And this is close to, it's sweeter than, but it's close to that kind of coffee that I can get. That's a seasonal blend with a chai pumpkin kind of fusion. The only thing missing is a little bit of sharpness from the star anise.
Gotcha.
But man, super close.
And this
Super
one's
close.
on tap for how long? Like you guys just started this one?
Yeah, that one probably not much longer. I bet.
Okay.
I'll be surprised if it makes it to the weekend, which is probably good timing.
Yeah.
Very good timing.
You only have like 100 beers coming in this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Well, the pumpkin thing's kind of funny because you got it. They've gotten out of where they start releasing them like in August.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then they want to get them in and out. They're gone before
Before season
pumpkin
official starts.
Before
Thanks,
Halloween.
Sam Adams, with your Oktoberfest.
Yeah, how early
That's
was
awesome.
that? Jeez. Every year I feel like it's 2 weeks earlier, but You
It was a
know.
good time tonight.
Yeah, man.
This was awesome. We appreciate it. We've killed a lot of beers tonight. I think we've got a couple of more for you guys that we're gonna kind of spin down, and then I'm gonna sit at the bar for a little while. I might order some food if the kitchen's still open, but
Yeah.
We got
drink some beer and
I
then-
don't know. Maybe not.
maybe not.
I forgot to tell them they're going to have to stay here later tonight.
Ah, well, we have a couple of beers for you guys that we want to give you afterwards. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
we appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. And John made his way back. I guess he's done on his section. So
Can I make a shout out real quick?
please,
Go
man,
for it.
Do
Anything
it.
you got.
I got
Yeah.
to make a plug.
This is your plug for the time. Go for it.
So, I think it was off air. We were talking about some of the artists and stuff. We've got some of the guys coming in, and we wanted to do this, and we didn't want to take a huge hit this weekend financially. So we talked to several of our, the people that we deal with a lot. Our bank, our malt supplier, Holston Gases, our insurance company. So I just have to give a shout out to them. Our bank stepped up. They helped to pay for the artists and stuff. We bank with First Bank here in
right on.
Manchester. They're all throughout the state. They actually sponsor the amphitheater in Franklin.
Oh,
The
cool.
cool Quarry Amphitheater. So I got to give those guys a shout out.
They're helping put the artists on this weekend.
Yep. So they chipped in to help us pay for the artist for the whole
Amazing.
weekend. And Malt Europe, actually Rick Barney, who's our sales rep with Malt Europe, that's who we connected with early on when we were starting the brewery. And those guys have stepped up to help sponsor.
Good people. it
Holston
seems.
Gases, which they supply to a lot of the breweries and stuff. They've donated some CO2 tanks
CO2,
to the
yeah.
home brewers. They're also donating the CO2 tanks for some of the brewers that are coming in to serve their beer, just so they don't have to bring a tank with them.
Nice.
Also, Lester Green McCord is our insurance company. Lord, we spend a lot of money for insurance. having a
I'd imagine you do.
having a brewery and serving alcohol, you got to do that. But I decided to give those guys a shout out because we could have done this. It just would have
Been a little bit more
It
expensive.
would have hurt us for a couple months,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I appreciate those guys stepping up.
That's awesome. Cheers to those guys, man.
Yes.
Not
Cheers.
playing. Mitch, is a good time tonight, dude.
It was.
I
Loved it.
I enjoyed coming out. Manchester, Tennessee. Common John. We got John back in the house with us. LeBron. You guys have been very hospitable. We appreciate you guys so much, and it's been a good time. If I can, I want to hang for a few more minutes and maybe sit at the bar and drink a beer or whatever. And
I think the radio show will go on at least till 9:30.
all right,
All right.
So beer will be going until then
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
All right. Well, I have a pint in mind, so
Definitely.
I'm going to do that. But Mitch, final thoughts?
Thank you for the beers. Thank you for your time. I appreciate everything tonight.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you this weekend.
Well,
So-
we appreciate you guys. I know you said you were just a half hour away.
Yeah.
But you had to drive an hour or more.
I was at work. It was 3:45. Mitch sends me a text and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go there and get set up early." And I'm like, it's like I'm still I'm deploying a database right now, and I'm like, Mitch is heading there right now. So
It was a
yeah.
good slow day. It was good timing.
Good.
I got to leave at 4 to
Awesome.
make it. So
Well, we appreciate you guys are very hospitable. Common John out of Manchester, Tennessee. LeBron and John have been great hosts for us tonight, Mitch.
Amazing.
It's been a
Amazing.
good time. We appreciate you guys. If you're not drinking beer, start drinking beer. If you are drinking beer, keep drinking beer. And if you've never had craft beer before, there's something out there for everybody. Common John has a ton of their own taps ready for you, all the way up from the water but better, all the way up to the heavy stuff. So we appreciate them letting us hang out here tonight in the back room. We're going to sit out at the bar, and cheers to everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.